I beg to move that this House has considered the importance of recognising and preserving the unique value of charity-funded medical research in the upcoming spending review. And it's a pleasure to serve under your chairship, Ms McVeigh. I'd like to place on record my thanks to the Backbench Business Committee and the Chairman of Ways and Means for granting time for this important debate, and doing so before the spending review tomorrow. I'd also like to thank the British Heart Foundation for their assistance with preparations for today's debate. Now, the UK Government website currently states that our world-class research and researchers play a vital role in delivering local and national economic prosperity, but we recognise that some of that research is at risk from a range of income losses as a result of coronavirus. I agree wholeheartedly with that statement and would emphasise that we also acknowledge the extremely valuable scientific and medical contributions which they make. As I hope to set out, charity-funded medical research has lost a great deal as a result of COVID-19. And if their contribution to the UK and indeed to the world is to continue, the government must consider further support, particularly ahead of the spending review tomorrow. Life sciences research and development in this country is funded through a broad partnership between government, universities, the private sector and charities. In 2019, charities funded £1.9 billion in UK R&D. This year, medical charities have seen the closure of their charity shops, the cancellation of fundraising events, and a drop in public donations. The true value of charity-funded medical research is often underappreciated, and to understand the gravity of the situation in which this sector finds itself now, we must first acknowledge the contributions which have been made to society in a normal year. A 2017 report published by the Association of Medical Research Charities found that 397 unique medical products and interventions were produced further to charitable awards. Most of these were drugs and diagnostic tools, but the list includes a gas delivery ventilator system to help protect long-term brain function in babies starved of oxygen at birth, and new immunotherapies for cancer. These are practical benefits of research which save lives immediately, but into the medium to long term, the development and sharing of knowledge is also key. Medical research charities have produced hundreds of models and over 26,000 unique publications, which go on to inform research for years to come. Production of such publications is not straightforward or free. It's largely unseen work which is essential to developing practical solutions to healthcare challenges. This knowledge, which has improved our understanding of diseases such as Alzheimer's dementia, has also been used to inform policy making. Throughout this pandemic, the government has outlined that its policy decisions have been guided by the science. This is an approach which I fully support, and I know it extends to all medical and healthcare policies. The Association of Medical Research Charities reports that in 2017 there were 166 citations in policy documents which referred to research linked to medical research charities, and 536 examples of researchers directly providing advice to government. From clinical reviews to participation in advisory committees, the combined knowledge of medical research charities and their staff has critical value. It's important to note that practical healthcare solutions and knowledge development are not exclusive to the research of major diseases. There are thousands of people living in the UK with rare diseases, and in 2018 alone, medical research charities invested £142 million into 640 rare disease projects. Without ongoing research conducted by well-funded specialists, we risk declining health outcomes for many who suffer from all conditions, but particularly those which are less common. Further to the expansive scientific and practical value of charity-funded medical research, there's also a significant economic element. Last year, in Wales alone, 53 charities funded 289 active grants worth £89.7 million, benefiting research institutions such as universities and NHS organisations. More than a third of charities associated with the AMRC-funded projects that are being carried out are in Wales. and at pre-pandemic levels, over 17,000 highly skilled jobs were supported directly in the sector throughout the UK. It's thanks to the tireless work of these experts and their support teams that for every £1 spent on research by public and charitable funders, there's a return of 25 pence per year in perpetuity. The financial value of the charitable sector is perfectly demonstrated by the British Heart Foundation, which made an investment of £476 million last year, leading to researchers leveraging £1.27 billion. Now, unfortunately, as has been seen across the board, COVID-19 has been catastrophic for charity-funded medical research, posing immediate challenges as well as medium and long-term uncertainties. The Association of Medical Research Charities estimates that such charities lost 38% of their fundraising income between March and May 2020, leading to an immediate shortfall of £310 million this year. Predictions go on to warn of a 41% fall in research spend in this financial year, and reports for the Institute for Public Policy Research expect a shortfall of up to £7.8 billion in UK R&D spending between now and 2027. The British Heart Foundation alone lost £10 million in revenue during each month of the spring lockdown, and current restrictions will cost another £7 million. Because of this, the organisation has already halved its research budget for next year, a reduction of £50 million. Likewise, Cancer Research UK has been forced to cut £44 million from its research spending, and this is an approach which unfortunately has been necessary amongst many other charities too. The current trajectory shows that it will be at least half a decade until we return to pre-pandemic levels, and without a change there will be significant implications for jobs and health outcomes. I know that many charities are grateful for the support that's already been received from the UK government through schemes such as the Coronavirus Job Retention Scheme, which has been extended to March next year, but with the overall reduction in income and consequently fewer research projects, many of those positions may not be sustainable. A survey of more than 500 charity-funded early career researchers in the UK found that 4 in 10 are considering leaving research due to funding concerns arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. And in total, half of researchers say their funding will expire by the end of 2021. And of these, 2/3 have been unable to secure funding to take them to the next stage in their career. Cancer Research UK worries that without support, it could be forced to lose 1,500 researchers, over 1/3 of its research workforce. It's worth putting on record that such jobs are highly skilled positions, which require extensive research infrastructure, and if we lose them, they may never return. Muscular Dystrophy UK notes that they fund new PhD students at each grant round. So without financial support, not only are we damaging the industry now, there will be worrying implications for British research. Medical research charities have sadly been unable to access the £750 million of additional funding made available in April to support charities providing essential services. This is despite many charities pivoting their research to support the national COVID-19 effort, including Cancer Research UK labs providing testing kits and Asthma UK providing an essential post-COVID hub and helpline for people left with breathing difficulties. The number of patients entering Welsh research studies fell by 23.8% between 2018-19 and 2019-20, and at the UK level, at the height of the first lockdown, the AMRC report that 73% of clinical studies and trials funded by charities were paused or delayed. And this number remained at 43% even in September. The expectation of some in the industry is unfortunately that some of these trials will never restart. We must do all that we can to reverse this trend. So what action is required? Well, it's vital that we fund research to better prevent, diagnose and treat illnesses, a view shared by my constituent Mandy Swift, who sustained 2 heart attacks in her early 50s and spoke out recently about the need for women to better understand their risk of a heart attack and its symptoms. Preserving charity-funded medical research needs to be a priority for the government. I believe that we now stand at a crossroads, and decisions taken in the days and weeks ahead can influence the future of charity-funded medical research for the next decade. As we reach the end of the transition period and want to retain our status as a global leader in this sector, we must provide the support which is necessary. The government has already pledged money through the Sustaining University Research Expertise, or SURE package. I'm delighted that by introducing this programme, the government has publicly acknowledged the value of our unique R&D ecosystem, but it's unclear how charities will be able to engage with this funding. The spending review and the Chancellor's statement tomorrow is an ideal opportunity to bring forward the further support which is much needed. I know that the charity-funded medical research sector is one of many sectors calling for a bespoke package of support, and indeed I'm sympathetic to calls from many other industries. However, the unique contribution of medical research to our health, well-being and economy is, I believe, unmatched. Charities fund research in every region in the UK, contributing to regional growth and the government's levelling up agenda. Ultimately, this research also leads to health improvements, particularly in areas of unmet health need and inequality. Organisations including the AMRC, the Royal College of Physicians, the British Heart Foundation, Cancer Research UK, Muscular Dystrophy UK and the Francis Crick Institute have all been in touch with me in the run-up to this debate, calling for a Life Sciences Charity Partnership Fund. This proposal centres on a 3-year settlement to provide a match funding arrangement which would contribute £310 million in year one to protect and enhance our status as a science superpower. Parameters of such a scheme could be settled upon by the Treasury in consultation with the sector. The Royal College of Physicians specifically notes that funding should be targeted to support more research activity in rural areas such as North Wales, which often carry the highest disease burden but the lowest research activity. 40% of those working in rural hospitals would like to be more involved in research, and that figure is 12% higher than for reported respondents in city hospitals. The RCP has proposed that in areas where research activity is low, a trial should be programmed whereby 20% of consultants have 20% of their time protected for research. Such potential approaches are important, as the AMRC points out that during the pandemic its members within Greater London have been twice as likely to have secured funding than those outside the capital, leading to a risk that charity funding crisis may exacerbate regional divides. Without much needed support, over 50% of AMRC's members have indicated that the impact of COVID-19 on their research portfolio will have implications for the UK's ability to attract research talent and global research leadership. So, as the government publicly acknowledges, we have a world-class research system and researchers too, but as a result of COVID-19, thousands of scientists and projects are at risk, and that concerns me greatly as a GP. Charity-funded medical research has been an intrinsic part of our national R&D ecosystem for decades, contributing to major scientific breakthroughs, the advancement of knowledge and economic growth. Without action soon, we risk years of poor research outcomes and thousands of highly skilled jobs lost. While some support has thankfully been made available, I believe that the spending review provides the government with the perfect opportunity to extend that, ideally through a life sciences charity fund. I very much hope that such a plan is already in the Chancellor's mind, but if not, I'd ask the Minister to make him aware of today's debate. Finally, as the UK Dementia Research Institute notes, charity-supported medical research has been prominent in national efforts to tackle the outbreak. As attention turns to long-term impacts, we must ensure that medical research is supported now and into the future. Thank you, Madam Chairman.